Hi guys, today we're going to learn how to graph and how to relate two quantities on a graph. These are the objectives for today, and here we go. So a graph gives you information, and when you look at a graph you should be able to tell me what this graph is about and what it is telling you. So you want to first identify the title. In this case the title is board length. And which ones are the independent and the dependent variables? The independent variable is always on the x-axis. It is the variable that is independent of anything else. In this case, the independent variable is time. And the dependent variable is the result or something that happens over time in this case. And so here we are going to say that time is the independent variable, and remember to be specific if you have information. This one is going to be in seconds, and length is the dependent variable. And the last thing you want to identify is say, what is the trend in this graph? What is this graph telling you? And try to use the word as. And what we're going to say is that as time increases, the length of the board decreases. And think about why this might be happening. Perhaps there's someone at the karate class and they are cutting down wooden boards, or maybe just somebody is cutting boards like a carpenter. So here's another graph, and see if you can figure out the 1, 2, 3 parts of this. So I'm going to identify the answers. This graph is about June's cell phone cost, and the independent variable here is time in minutes, and the cost is the dependent variable, and obviously it is in cents. And you're going to use the word as time increases, cell phone cost increases. And I have the question why, but we all know that the longer you talk, the more it costs to talk, or at least it used to be that way. So now we're going to look at the table and do the same thing. In this case we have a vertical table, and the first value is always the x value or the independent variable, and the second value is the y value or the dependent variable. So you're going to be able to say that the independent variable in this graph is the number of days, and the dependent variable is total downloads. On the next slide I'm going to show you how to sketch the graph, but now we're going to use the word as the number of days increases, the number of downloads also increases. And this would be a sketch of the graph, and a sketch is just a simple idea of what this graph might look like. You don't have to put all the numbers, you don't have to make the graph as big as the numbers require you to make it. This is just a trend, and it's showing us that the graph is going up. And I have a discrete graph here because the information is based exclusively on day 1 and day 2 and day 3. So we don't know exactly what is going on in between, so we just plot the individual points, making this a discrete graph. Please remember that all your graphs must be labeled with the axes and the origin. They should have a title. You should know which one is the independent and dependent variable. Make sure you label the axes with the quantities. You can plot or sketch the ordered pairs. You should know if your graph is discrete or continuous. And if you need to draw a line, make sure you draw a line with arrows, and you should be able to describe the relationship using the word as. Your homework for this lesson is to read the lesson and complete these pages, and I will see you in class tomorrow. Goodbye.